Hello, and track 8 of the House Share album podcast, which translates as episode 8. Yeah, not sure how the etiquette of podcasting, because as you know, this is the first podcast I've done. So back to track 8, which is DOS House. Now, DOS House very nearly didn't make the grade. It's a progressive house tune, and I made the first 8 bars of this, or 16 bars of this, really just the bass, and I think it was 8 bars, the bass and the percussion, and I was like, oh, I don't know, because I come from a uplifting happy house, piano house background, and I'm not really like the progressive house genre. When I look through my vinyl and I checked it off recently, I've been sorting it out after 30 years. I've never actually sorted them into genres. So I'd have record bags, and I'd have 2 hours worth of music in each record bag. Well, roughly that. So if you did a set, it would be kind of mixed. There'd be all different sort of stuff in it. Just what I wanted to play, because that's how it was for me anyway back then. I didn't play clubs, so I mean, when I moved into clubs in the at the end of the 90s, after the Criminal Justice Act had sort of put a kibosh really on all the free parties. But to be fair, the Criminal Justice Act did change the clubs. The clubs were now able to stay open all night, so didn't really need to spend bleeding 4 hours driving around the countryside to find. I mean, you did. I mean, you might think that's crazy, but hours you'd spend sometimes, especially if you'd lost the end of the convoy, and you couldn't find where the rave was. I mean, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Most people listening to this know exactly how a rave happened, how you got there. If you don't, leave a comment, and and I'll do a one-off thing about raving. But anyway, we would spend a long time trying to find raves sometimes. But so with a club, and once the laws have changed, a lot of promoters moved into clubs. And because I'm from London, so when I returned from the countryside, I went back to London, and there were a lot of smaller clubs, especially in Vauxhall, in the tunnel clubs, where it was almost exclusively just rave dance music that was played in these things. And so you'd go there and you'd be there all night, and then you go on to one in the morning somewhere, like Strawberry Sundays or something. Anyway, I digress again, as usual. Mind you, Bagley's was one of my favourite clubs. That always felt like a free party or a rave there for some reason. I mean, Bagley's, if you don't know it, it's unfortunately gone now. They did a redevelopment. It was in King's Cross behind the station there. Why did it was it because of the Eurostar or some reason? Anyway, it got taken away. It was a film studios or TV studios or some kind of studios there. So they're big rooms, but you could go outside there as well. They had a weird smell. It was pretty rough. I mean, Bagley's was a bit rough for me, and that was one of the reasons I liked it. It was rough and ready, but also you'd go there and they would put on. I remember going there on a Halloween. Not because it was Halloween, just because I think Halloween fell on a Saturday or something. And there were actual actors and things walking around there dressed up as ghouls and things. And really well done, because it was a studio, so I'm guessing they had the costumes, whatever, the talent to make it up. I mean, would have been bleeding nice to have known. I mean, you're in a special mood there, and then you turn a corner and bloody Frankenstein's coming at you. And it really does look like Frankenstein. And there was like skeletons hanging from the ceiling in cages that the crows would have pecked at the bodies. I mean, it was really good. I mean, one time I remember being in there and they did a 60s theme, and there's all these girls and boys on podiums and in like the 60s cages and outfits, and other times when there were people walking around in with UV paint all over them and stuff. So it was, well, I think these things happened. It appeared they were there, but yeah, so that was great. But why we're talking about Bagley's, I don't know. So if you don't mind, we'll get back on track and talk about DOS House, which is my first, I think, or conscious attempt at progressive house. And that's how we got there, because the vinyl and then the vinyl of the old days. And anyway, as I said, I was sorting out my vinyl into genres, and I discovered I've got what is known as progressive house in there. But again, if you know from previous things, there's genres. I don't give a rat's ass about genres. But I was using this thing called Discogs on the internet, where you can check if your vinyl's worth anything, and if you want to sell it. But it also kind of tells you what genre this stuff was, or what other people think it was, which is hilarious, because some tracks have got like 10 different genres attached to them. But anyway, so progressive house, which seems to be a little bit simpler, no frills or anything like that. And so when I started this, it I don't know, I didn't know where I was going for it, and I did the 8 bars and sort of put it to one side and thought, and then I carried on working on some tunes, and then every now and then, not in the mood to do something, I would click the file to open up DOS House, and this bass would hit me, and I'd be like, I don't know, but it's got something. And anyway, when I put it away again, because I didn't really know what prog house was, and I know I was trying to do it. I'd been listening to some other stuff just to see, and then I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a month after I initially created the first 8 bars, I picked it up again, and I suddenly made this hook lead, this well, I can't sing it, you'll have to hear it, and I'm going to say this, but in no way do I actually mean this, but this kind of hook sound that I hit upon kind of reminded me of Sandstorm by Darude. But if you listen to Sandstorm and Darude, this tune is nothing like it. Darude's Sandstorm is brilliant, whereas DOS House is alright, in my opinion. It's okay. I quite like it. Possibly if I understood prog house a bit more, maybe I could make it better. But I quite like it. And I think it does have a kind of killer hook lead line to it. And, well, you can be the judge of that, to be fair, because you'll be hearing it in a minute. Hopefully, see what it is. I'm not sure how I'm going to put this podcast up. So at the moment, as I've said before, I'm sort of making this. I'm doing a sort of episode every now and then when I can do it. All the tracks are already made. So I don't know if I'm going to put the podcast up before I start putting the album up. So it's possible I might put the album up, track 1, and podcast episode 1 up. That might make sense. Or I might make the podcast first, so you get a sneak preview of the tracks, because I'm not expecting a large amount of views. However, I am doing these vertical shorts for the first time, and I'm going to make one of those that alerts people to the podcast. And as far as I can tell, these short things do get people looking at them. So if I can link it to the podcast, maybe I'll get a few more people. I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, so you will get to hear DOS House in this podcast after this rambling. But it was one thing that struck me, because again, I listened to a little bit of it before I did this, because I haven't heard these for a while. I think the last 5 on the album might have been done in because we're 2026 now. Maybe did I start these in 24? Maybe I'm a bit I'm never very good with times. I don't know why, but I think the last, were any of those, maybe the first, maybe it was started in 24 and I finished them in 25. Anyway, I played a little bit of this, and it reminded me, because I'm an old raver. I enjoy the dance tunes, and it takes me back to that time. But a lot of these, I put headphones on and I'm listening away to them, and I kind of trance out. Kind of like get lost in the music. And I certainly did that back in the day. I don't know if you ever did this. I'd get on the dance floor, sort of start dancing to a tune, close my eyes, and then open them, and 4 hours had gone past. I'd look around and everyone around me had changed, and I'd be like, Jesus, but is it look, bloody hell, for 4 hours. What's going on? Then panic, wondering whether everyone I was with was still there. You'd be in the middle of nowhere, you need to live. I mean, sometimes you didn't even believe know where you were. So and a lot of these tunes have that effect on me now. I mean, it could just be because I've made them and they appeal to me, and it could be a load of old rubbish. But I often wondered if other people had done that back in the day. They must have. I mean, I can't be the only one who used to lose time on the dance floor. My gosh, though, it kept the weight down, didn't it? 4 hours continuous dancing, and then you'd carry on once you realised that everything was okay and normal, you'd be back again. But anyway, I digress again. So as I say, this is prog house. Maybe it's not your thing. I'm not sure that every prog house is my thing, but apparently I like some of it back in the day, because I have at least a bag of prog house vinyl, I think it was last time I looked. I'm currently trying to catalogue what I've got and put it all into genres, so I end up with so I've done that with the trance I've got, because I didn't have that much trance. I think I've got about 3 bags, because I mean, when I was buying vinyl, trance hadn't, I think trance came out in the mid-90s. You tell me if I'm wrong. So I mean, a lot of my trance is up into the 2000s. So goes up to that. And I wasn't buying house so much then. But I've got something like 5 bags of house hardcore. Or hang on, is it house and hard and separate hardcore? I don't know, but I've got a lot more housey stuff than anything else. But I'm still sort of cataloguing through it. Because basically the way I do that is I play a bit of the tune to get a feel for what it is. I put it on a spreadsheet. I then try and find the catalogue number. Have you ever done this with vinyl, when they've scratched the catalogue number in the runoff at the end, and you're trying to flick it around to catch the light? I've got quite a few white labels, and that if you've got something you got from a shop or was sent to you or something, well, no, I mean, not all the promos have got that, but sometimes the catalogue number's printed on the sleeve, if you can find it, which is a godsend. But the catalogue number will tell you exactly what the tune is and why it's from, who made it and everything. And if you're looking to sell them, it gives you an idea of what you're going to get if you put it through Discogs. I've been doing that, putting it on a spreadsheet, but it got a bit, I don't know, it was, while I was doing that, I wasn't being able to make tunes, so I stopped that to make this album, I think, and I haven't gone back to it. So I don't know if that's something I did hear that people like to look at vinyl on YouTube. There's just people flicking through and showing their vinyl. That's it, not even playing it. I mean, if that's something you want to see, I'll show you my vinyl. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. But yeah, leave a comment if someone wants to see what vinyl I've got. I'll do that. Maybe it'll kick me up the backside to carry on cataloguing it. But anyway, again, I've gone off topic. Well, I've gone off topic. It's still talking about house music, just not mine. But yeah, so let's cut this down now. I mean, if I mentioned white labels then and vinyl, I mean, I'm conscious that there'll be some people who, didn't grow up with records, don't know. I mean, if you don't know what a white label is and you want to know something about vinyl, let me know and I'll explain what some of them are, how we got records sent to us sometimes, and how and what it meant, and why vinyl is crap. Don't listen to anyone who tells you it's great, because it bloody well isn't. And I will happily tell you why it isn't, and you can take that to the bank. There is nothing. There is nothing anyone can tell you that says vinyl is good. All right? There isn't. It has some elements that you can say is pleasurable, but good is stretching it, and there is many reasons why. Yes, you'll get some big head down the pub or wherever it is going, oh, but the sound that comes from vinyl is so much different. Yeah, whatever. I dare say, if you want that crackly, bloody, horrible sound that most of it gives you, then you can find a filter for it. Yes, there are frequencies missing when you're doing digital or whatever, but again, if you have things done properly, you can do it. Don't get me started on vinyl, and don't get me wrong on vinyl. I've got a lot of vinyl. Back in the day, I loved vinyl. I mean, there was nothing else, but it has so many drawbacks, and like everything, like your MP3s or whatever it is now. See, you know, an old MP3s probably ain't a thing, but yeah, they've got their drawbacks, like everything. But vinyl, don't let anyone tell you that it's perfect, because it bloody well isn't. It's got plenty of drawbacks. Anyway, don't get me started on that. Or do, if you want to know. Leave a comment and I'll tell you all about it. Anyway, here we go. You're going to get to listen to the DOS House, and maybe you'll be able to slag me off about my comparison to this and Sandstorm, and probably quite deservedly, because Sandstorm was like a masterpiece. Anyway, I hope you like this DOS House.